Hey guys, Bricks and News here, and today I'm bringing you my review of set number 75348, the Mandalorian Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor. The set comes with 957 pieces, is aged for the 9+ audience, and is retailing for $100 US, 100 Euro, 90 pounds, and 130 Canadian dollars. It comes with 4 minifigs and is inspired by the popular Disney Plus TV series The Mandalorian. The set comes with 2 instruction manuals and 7 bags to assemble the entire set. The first manual is for the Fang Fighter and the first 3 bags, and then the second manual is for the last 4 bags to assemble the TIE Interceptor. So up first we have the 4 minifigs. We have the Mandalorian himself, or Din Djarin. I like his figure. The legs are printed with nice detail which represent his armor. The torso is printed front and back with the armor, the ammo pouches, the belt with the ammo. The arms are also nicely printed. The helmet is the standard Mandalorian helmet. The face is only printed on one side, which is to be expected considering that the character is mostly seen wearing his helmet in the series. So I don't expect Lego to give you a 2-sided printed face here. Din also comes with 2 accessories. We have his booster pack and his much anticipated updated dark saber. The saber overall isn't anything to write home about, but it definitely is an improvement over the older version, which pretty much was just a dark or black translucent lightsaber. So this is an improvement. I would like to have seen it to be a little bit more accurate compared to what we see in the series, but this is better than what we had before. So next we have the Mandalorian Fleet Commander. Now we only really see this character for about a moment in the series, and he's not really one of the prominent characters, but the figure looks good, albeit somewhat generic. The torso has the standard Mandalorian print front and back. The legs are also printed, even as far down as the feet. The arms aren't printed though, however, just a plain blue. The helmet looks good, and I like the little V emblem near the top. That's a nice little detail that Lego really didn't have to add, but they did to kind of fill out the model a bit more. The head has 2 face prints. But both are just the plain Lego standard expressions that we typically get with the minifigs. What I find odd is that they give this rather insignificant character the 2 facial expressions, yet you only give Din 1. I'm not sure why, but you know, I mean, I guess it's better than having him with just the 1 facial expression, so, but whatever. The commander also comes with some accessories, so you get the jetpack as well, you have the pistol, and you also have the little thermal detonator that you can kind of fit him with, so that's cool. Next we have the TIE Interceptor pilot. It's nothing too exciting here. The torso is printed front and back, which is pretty much standard Lego minifig print at this point. The arms are just the plain black, but personally I love the helmet. I've always loved the helmets of these figures. I just feel they're so detailed, and I like how it has the little grin on the helmet, the front of the helmet, which kind of gives it a bit of a menacing look. So, and then when you remove the helmet, it reveals a female pilot. So that's nice. I can see Lego's finally decided to diversify their fleet of pilots here. Just has the single expression, so just a one-sided print. The pilot minifig is pretty much what you've come to expect with these sets. The only difference is that this is a female variant, so it's nothing really exciting or what we haven't had before. And last for the minifigs, we have the R2-E6 droid, or as I would typically refer to him as the Black R2. I call him the Black R2 because it's pretty much just the exact same model as the R2-D2. Even the print is almost the exact same as far as the design. The only difference is the color scheme. And if you look at the R2-D2 model that we just recently got from the X-Wing UCS model, the difference here is that on that new R2-D2, Lego has actually printed the entire body of R2 now, which is nice. We used to get him with just the front portion printed, but now you see the entire build itself is printed, which is nice. Whereas Whereas with this R2E6, it's still just the front printed and the back is just plain black. So I guess it's what to expect. I mean, this really isn't a significant character in the Star Wars, lore. So I don't expect Lego to go above and beyond to design the model. So that's it for the minifigs. On to the two ships. Up first we have the Fang Fighter. First thing I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. The ship is definitely bigger than I expected. The box art really doesn't do a good job at showing you the scale of it. When I first saw it, I thought it was a small model that could kind of fit in your hand. But as you can see with me holding here, it's definitely a bit bigger than expected. It's quite wide. From wingtip to wingtip, it's a pretty big ship. But for me, once you get over the initial surprise of the size of the ship, I feel like you just come crashing back down to Earth like a comet. I know I'm gonna be a little harsh here, but I have to say this has got to be one of the ugliest Star Wars ship models I've ever seen. The sheer number of exposed studs on the top side of the wings, it really just gives the model an unfinished look, if you ask me. Like, if I told you that I designed this myself, you'd probably be pretty impressed and be like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. But if I tell you that this is something Lego is actually giving us, yeah, it's pretty underwhelming, to say the least. It's nice that Lego breaks up the look with the gray to contrast the white, but I just don't feel that's enough for the model. They don't add enough unique pieces on here to kind of add some detail. I'm not a fan of stickers, but I think this is one case where there should be an exception. They should have added some stickers here just for some detail. The ship is just, it has a very underwhelming profile. I'm kind of wondering if Lego didn't have much as far as concept art to go off of, because we hadn't seen the ship at that point. And I'm wondering if, because they didn't have much in the way of concept art, they just kind of went with whatever the vague details Disney was giving them. And because they didn't want to misrepresent the ship, perhaps they just went with something very plain and generic. And then maybe they may come out with a more fleshed out Fang Fighter in future iterations. I don't know. I'm hoping. Now, as far as the canopy for the cockpit is nice. It's nicely printed and it's nicely detailed. The cockpit itself is, I guess, standard with what you get, but it looks good. You have the printed brick for the console. You have the yoke to operate the craft. And then they added the blue translucent bricks to add a bit of lighting effect. I also like the look from the back with the 3 blue rocket thrusters. That looks really good. I mean, considering the ship itself is underwhelming, this is kind of the only parts that do have some cool little details and features. The cannons on either side of the cockpit is really nice. It's only the one noteworthy thing you really have on the top part of the ship. You flip the model over and it exposes an equally bland underbelly. I mean, this thing, when I say undercooked, this thing really feels raw. Raw to the touch, raw to the eye. The only thing you see here on the bottom is the spring-loaded missile launchers, and it looks like they've just slapped them onto the underside to add some features here. Other than that, it's nothing. There's absolutely nothing on the bottom. It definitely doesn't do the ship that you see in the series justice, even though you only see it on the screen briefly. It just really is underwhelming for me. This definitely isn't something you're going to keep out on display at all. Now, moving on to the second ship, the TIE Interceptor. This model is leagues ahead of the Fang Fighter in quality, design, detail, and likeness. We can start with the cockpit. I love how Lego not only has the canopy open up to reveal the interior, but the roof hatch also opens, which is perfect for getting the minifigs in and out. Typically that cockpit design is hard, kind of getting the figure in and out, but having that top part open up, you can just slide the minifig right down into there, which is really nice. The cockpit itself has the same printed tile like the Fang Fighter for the console, several translucent red bricks for some lighting effect. Under the cockpit you have the 2 spring-loaded missile launchers, which is built right into the model, which looks good. It's definitely an improvement to the Fang Fighter where they're just slapped on there. The wings themselves have a few nice details. If you look at the center portion, you can see the small dish pieces and the ingot pieces to add a bit of flair. They're attached to the columns with the Technic pieces, so they're not about to pop off. I mean, you can see they're on there pretty sturdy, which is good. It's a very sturdy build, very solid. It feels good in the hand. I definitely like the way the model feels when you hold it and if you want to play with it. The little lasers on the front of the tips of the wings are the only section I feel like it is a bit unstable, but that's expected. I mean, it's only attached with the single stud, but personally I'm kind of glad that Lego added them because it just adds a bit more detail to the overall model. So I mean, if you do happen to accidentally knock it off, it's not much to just kind of pop it back on there. My only one gripe though of the model is the column as it attaches to the main body of the ship has this slight little gap. At first glance it looks as if maybe you don't have it fully attached or it's attached incorrectly, but no, that's how it's designed to look, which I feel is really kind of weird and almost unfinished. I don't know, it's noticeable, like you can definitely notice it the minute you look at it, but other than that, the ship looks good. It's definitely an accurate depiction when looking at the source material. Even the back, they added a few red translucent pieces just to kind of round off the features of the ship. The blue plugs that you see there are a bit distracting, I mean, especially in contrast to the grays and the blacks, but that's an easy fix. You can easily replace those with some gray plugs or even some black ones, so that's really not something you should kind of cry over. Overall, I love the look of the TIE Interceptor. I feel this ship alone is enough to entice collectors to possibly pick up the set. The Fang Fighter, however, you're not going to want to display this ship. It just looks unfinished if you ask me. But in saying that, both ships are solidly built enough and it's perfect for actual playability. You know, kind of just flying them around, handling them, simulating dogfights. They feel good for that. They feel good to handle. The figs are nice as well. You know, you're getting the highly detailed Din and you're getting the upgraded Darksaber, so that's a bonus. I feel like this is definitely a set you want to play with and probably not leave for display. So overall, I'd say yes, I feel it is a bit pricey, especially with that ugly looking Fang Fighter, but that disappointment I think is offset somewhat by the awesome TIE Fighter model. Like, I really love the sleek black and the gray look, and the minifigs are nice, with the highlight obviously being Din. The other figures are a bit kind of plain and standard, what you get with most Star Wars sets, but the updated Mandalorian figure really looks good. So I'd recommend this set for anyone looking to simulate some dogfights, or probably for the hardcore lovers of the Mandalorian series. But for collectors and persons more inclined to just want to display their sets, I'm not sure if this is worth full price, considering the TIE Interceptor is likely the only model you're going to really want to keep in the cabinet. The other figs, like I said, are just standard. So I'd say display enthusiasts, perhaps wait for a sale and then snatch it up, just if for nothing else for the TIE Interceptor. So that's it, guys. That's it for my review on the Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor set that just recently came out, end of April, beginning of May. Let me know down in the comments section your thoughts. If you have the set, what are your opinions? I love discussing these hot topics with other Lego lovers. Do you agree that the set is more play and less display, or what? And if you like the review, perhaps thumbs up the video and subscribe. I really appreciate it and I enjoy sharing my love of Lego with all of you. So until next time, keep building.